We're starting on our boat repairs, and I'm gonna repair this anchor locker hatch. It was repaired once before, and you can see there's a, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a crack. It runs all along here. You can see where the previous repair was done. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna grind all this old repair out of here. Get her down to the fiberglass, and I'm going to relay some mesh in here with some epoxy. Well, I got most of the sanding done, or all the sanding done actually. You can see quite a bit different. Exposed the fiberglass, and I got a little close here where I actually went through a little, so that kind of sucks, but I'm going to lay a little piece in here first just to kind of get that set, and then I'm going to lay this whole piece of cloth over the top of this whole beveled area here. Here I got one layer down on there. It turned out pretty good, I think. We'll let her cure and check her tomorrow. A couple days later now, I put the glass on the hatch cover with the epoxy. It worked out pretty well, actually. It's all nice and rigid. One thing though, what I did is I laid it out here, and I laid it on the hatch cover, and it was cold out. It was probably 45, 50 degrees in the garage when I laid this out to mix up the epoxy and everything. And then I immediately brought it into the house so it could cure in a warm environment. Problem being is I realize now, it's one of my first major, I guess first epoxy repairs with mesh. When it warms up in the room temperature, it creates air bubbles. So I literally had to stand by this guy right here and push air bubbles down every minute or two because it kept on swelling up with bubbles. So after about a half hour, it kind of stopped, and it seems like it laid down pretty decent. I'm going to sand it down, and I'm going to give it one more coat, one more layer, and then I'm going to sand it down and give this thing a quick little paint job. Meanwhile, we got our water tank here. So this here is the water tank out of our boat. This is the inlet, and this is where when you fill the boat, it comes into this port right here. Well, a couple years ago when we took this out, we found that we had water. Well, we actually had water in the bilge. We found out there's actually a crack in these threads right here. So when the boat would heel over, water was squirting out of this area here, and it would run into the bilge and start emptying out the tank. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to replace this. I'm going to cut this out of here, and I went down to hardware store, found I guess a what do you call it, a bung plug or a fitting that I'm going to put inside the tank here, and then we can thread a new barb fitting on there, and we should be good to go for the fill valve. Well, I'm going to go ahead and cut the threads off of the water tank now. Now he's got to enlarge this hole so it can fit the new piece. So I have a hole saw to cut through this. It's a little bit small to go through this for the new fitting, but I think it'll work. I'll just have to sand it out a little bit. I made a little jig. Since this is a hole saw, it'll walk all over the place if I didn't do something with it. So let's go ahead and lay that right on top there, and we'll drill through there and get a nice hole cut. There. Okay, I see what happened here now. I got little areas are brittle. So I have to peel this all off, and then we'll see how the thing fits. Fits nicely in there. So now I just got to sand off this edge right here. That's pretty nice. And there we are. Cool. So everything fits nice with this new fitting on the side, but unfortunately this hole is so small, the access port, we can't get our arms in there to tighten it up. So I'm actually going to cut this thing out, and I got a new one that I'm going to put in place. It's bigger. That'll give us a chance to get in there and tighten her up, and I'll epoxy this in place once we're all done. There, I got the rim off. Now maybe I can lay that cover on there. We can trace it easier. Now we'll be able to get our arm in here. Yeah, I can get my finger in here even. Look at that. It's weird because it's left-hand threads. Don't know why. So this is our new access hatch right here. Oh, can't get it open. I'll have to use a tool for that. Hope I didn't glue it shut. Go ahead and spread some on. The hatch I've been working on for a few days now. Well, now I just realized that there's a little crack right here through, and it goes into almost to this hole here. So what I did is I drilled a hole to make a stop hole on the crack. So I'm gonna lay some glass in this area here to stiffen this all up, and then I'm gonna round it up on this edge.
We have been having problems with our galley faucet seizing up. So Mark is trying to figure out how to get the old faucet out so we can put the new faucet in.
That's the back of the faucet.
Yeah.
And there's a nut on there that seems to be above the fiberglass. So we'll see if I can cut that out of there and get it out.
We tried to find anything on the website about how to replace that faucet, and there was nothing. So we're just kind of making it up as we go, but...
Well, it's not so hard. I mean, you gotta take a nut off, and the nut is pretty obvious. Take the nut off, but you can't turn the nut. It's almost like the faucet was mounted on the laminate, and they put the laminate on top of the fiberglass.
What did you do?
Trying to take the faucet off, and apparently I'm not doing a very good job. That's what's left of it so far. I'm trying to dismantle it and shove it down below, because the problem we're having is like the nut won't come off from underneath. So I cut the faucet apart in pieces on top, and I'm trying to peel all these upper pieces off, then I can shove it down below without damaging the countertop. I think they put the sink on the laminate piece here and the faucet, and they glued the laminate down, because there's actually two screws underneath the sink you can't get at unless you peel it off through the laminate, or somehow you magically take the cooler out. So did it? It's gone. It's out. Now I can't get my screwdriver out of the faucet. There it goes. It's actually a piece of plywood. Like a 1/2-inch plywood they got down on top of the fiberglass. Well, we got a few things done. We got we brought the mast back from the club, and we brought it back home so we could work on it. Didn't take very long. We actually did replace the mast sheave, but I actually need to get one more for next year. I guess I should have paid more attention. There's actually two that the main halyard runs across, but one's in good condition. Now we got one really nice one, so we can take this off the list. Replaced main halyard. Lori got that connected today, so we're all set there. That'll be nice. Clean deck hull. That's something we got to do yet. Check mast wiring. I just put a battery out there. We checked the steaming light works, the mast headlight works, so we can take that off as well. It's a good time to check it before you put the mast up. Then we got a few more things to do, but we're going to worry about that after the boat goes in, most likely. Unless we get a little bit of time, which I don't think we're going to have. So, it's been good.
Nothing says summer in Wisconsin more than a sailboat in your yard. We are super excited to finally put the boat in. She goes in maybe, I guess now it would be a week. We don't have much time to get her together. It was, the weather has been just horrible. Last spring it was just amazing. This time we have this weekend and that's pretty much it. But, you know, like we say, whatever doesn't get done, doesn't get done. So we'll just put it on the list for next year. Subscribe if you want to keep track of us, and we will see you out there. She's all ready to go in today. She thinks she's coming with us, but she's not.
Are you all set?
Nope, I have a bunch of things that I need to get
Ooh.
into the truck, I think, right?
Do you? All right, I got everything I think loaded. Boat strapped down, drain the oil out of the motor, so we can put that in before we put it in the water. Gas tanks in the boat. I think we got the bare minimums that we need to get it done today. Get it in the water, get it in position. Got the fenders for the dock. It's
Okay.
all set.
And the lines to get it.
Got our dock lines to drop down for our tag lines, I guess. So, I think we're good.
Yay! Just have to go
It's-
grab all the stuff upstairs.
All right, it's like 5 to 7. We gotta go.
All right. She thinks she's coming with
No,
us.
you gotta go in the house. Let's go.